time for Friday Night Marketing! We're gonna rock! We're gonna roll! Get real and bold! Come on, join the show now! It's about to unfold!
Yes, indeed, we're going live in 3 minutes. If you're watching, say hello in the chat. Let us know you're
We're the
here.
latest steel, making waves loud!
And if you're really brave, go to the
On
link.
this stage, we ignite!
Already put it in the chat. We'll say scrolling along
Every
the bottom of the
Friday
screen.
night, brand new fight! Get raw, get real, get results now! We're the latest steel, making waves loud! On this stage, we ignite! Every Friday night, brand new fight! In the spotlight, feel the fever! Every pitch and quest! Dreams are big, get bigger tonight! Push the limits, reach new heights! So grab your seat, don't blink an eye! 'Cause Friday night will touch the sky! And now, welcome! It's time for Friday Night Marketing Raw!
Woohoo! Woohoo! Is that what we're supposed to say? Is woohoo?
Yeah. Woohoo! Hey Siri, turn the torch off. Now it's going to go very black in here. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Alexa, living room light on.
All right, I got the link out there for fnmr.snapfire.com.
Okay.
It is out there. It's in the wild. Come join us.
Hello. So, welcome. This is Friday Night Marketing Raw. If you're watching, let us know. Say hello. Remember, this isn't our show, it's your show. I shouldn't have turned my light off because now my Alexa can't turn it back on. It keeps fading. I'm going to have to go and reset it.
The rocket
Really
rolls
got
right.
light. There we go.
You had to go reset your electricity.
I had to reset my living room light. It's one of those so-called smart bulbs. It's not always that smart.
It's
Anyway.
not that smart.
Anyway, lots of things to chat about tonight. I don't know what they are yet, but we will find out as we go on. I'm going to tell you what, I've had a cracking week though. because and not just because I had a little launch going on, which happened to do particularly well. But on top of that, I've been doing one of my favorite. Well, this is the thing. It's always getting back to your first loves, isn't it?
Yeah.
In my early days, when I first got started in this business, I was a software developer. And what was happening is I was making software for other people. They were selling it and making a megaton more money than I made. Didn't mind. I got well paid for writing it. And then I thought, if I could do the marketing, I could. And that's really how I started and got into business in the first place. And then as the years have gone on, I got older and we get to the point where we go, I'm a dinosaur for coding. So I'll get younger people to do it and get developers to do it. And that's really what the last probably 10 years of my business have been. I've done very little coding myself. I keep my hand in just so I understand I'm a dinosaur now, right? I can give a job to a younger coder and they can do it in a fraction of the time and do a better job. And then along came GPT and AI, and AI has got better and better at coming up with code solutions. And then other people have cottoned onto this and gone, wow, if we can just do the things that plug in the gaps, you can do some really powerful stuff. So I've really fallen back into what I've always called no-code software development. It was what SASET gave people the ability to do, and I still use SASET. But there's so many more things we can now do. And I'm just getting very excited about a lot of those. If you have not experimented with getting ChatGPT to write and modify code, you don't have to understand the code. It puts it in code blocks and you just paste it and try it. And then if it doesn't work, you go, it didn't work, it did this. And it goes, oh, this will fix it. It's surprising how complex a project you can build now. And then with other tools that are coming along,
Right.
Other AI models, I would say it's been mentioned in the past, Claude is really good at code. Really good at code. And there's various other tools Kurt and I have been playing with, most of which we're not going to talk about that openly at this stage.
Oh, hell no.
Because we're still evaluating and working out what we can and can't do. But I am now considering, and I'm just going to throw this out there so that anyone, if you're watching on a replay, hit us up afterwards, it's fine. I'm considering putting together some training on how to bolt together all these different things to build just about anything. I mean, now, admittedly, you would need to have a lot of tools.
Right.
You don't have to have a specific tool.
Speaking of tool,
Speaking of tools, hello.
It's a tool.
You would need something, but you would need a tool like Pabbly, so Zapier, Make, API, whatever it is that's currently on AppSumo, which is like those things. Any of those, right? You need something that did that. You'd need something that can do some other task automation for when you can't do it by API. Although that's not really necessary. I only have had to use that a couple of times, so you can almost forget that. You need a way of building forms. ChatGPT does that. You need a way of doing certain things and processing certain tasks. And when you get the right tools and things plugged in, you can get incredible results, even if you do not know the first thing about web development and coding. It's absolutely shocking what you can produce. So I've just been spending a bit of time tinkering and going, what can I do with this? Because that's how we really learn. So yeah, let me know. Give me some feedback if anyone's interested in that sort of thing. Anyway, how are you doing, Volker?
Yeah. Well, still a little bit too much life, which I don't want. But it's getting better.
Yeah, life sucks, doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah. And but usually it's okay. I came in when I heard you talking about ChatGPT doing Claude, and I want to say that doing code, and I want to say that Claude is very much better. Because I'm doing so many things with Claude now, and basically is. Thank you, Kurt. And basically,
I have to put a condom on it.
Oh, the sound is not muffled, so that didn't help.
Go on, Volker. I'm interrupting
Yeah, yeah, you do. I'm not focused at the moment.
So
and
you're saying
basically,
Claude's much better at code. I would agree in 85% of cases. I think there are still a bit, but you know what? This is the beauty of doing this stuff.
Yeah.
You write it in one, and when you hit something Claude doesn't quite do the way you want, chuck it in GPT and ask it.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. Don't be afraid.
I'm free now.
I have three. I have a pro version. I have the pro versions of Claude, of ChatGPT, and of Ideogram. And with that 3 tools, you can basically do everything.
I am not currently paying anything much in the way of Claude stuff. ChatGPT, I have the premium because I write GPTs, and as I've proved, you can sell a pre-written GPT now because anyone you give the link to can run it as long as they got a GPT account, free level, even if it's using GPT-4o and web browsing. So it now makes that. I mean, obviously, there's no way of protecting them and things, and there are other tools coming out on the market that give you ways of doing that.
That's exactly that. What I'm not buying at all GPTs because I have no possibility to tweak them or whatever, which I can do with direct prompt inserts. So
the thing is, if you're a really avid GPT or AI user, as we all are, right, then the truth is, on anything I want to do, I can work out ways of engineering prompts. GPTs then became good for me because I've got, I mean, bear in mind, I've got dozens of GPTs in my account. I don't give access to anyone else. They're just for me. Yeah. And I go in and I give it a URL and something, and it does a certain task for me. And then I go, oh, okay, then we'll do this. So I've got it for a bunch of things like that. I find it really useful. And then I had one GPT that I had trained to do a very specific thing, and all the feedback on that GPT has been phenomenal. People going, you know, I can't believe the quality of cheat sheet that comes out of it. I'm going, yeah, that's because I trained it with a whole load of quality data.
That's really the big advantage of GPTs, that you can train them and that they keep that knowledge.
And that's the only purpose for offering a GPT to somebody else. If you've got a knowledge base behind it of your own, that's what they're paying for. You've taken the time to put the knowledge base together and to engineer the initial prompt. I'm not claiming it's anything special. Could other people do it? Yes. But I tell you what, getting that prompt right and feeding it the right data took me a few hours. Because, and you know, with real prompt engineering, you test and retest and test again. And then you go, what happens if I give it a niche that's completely outside everything else? What happens then? What are the other things it should cater for? So that's a few hours work, just talking, going backwards and forwards, modifying, and giving it different source documents and knowledge files to work on. So really what you're selling for $10 is I'll save you that time.
Exactly.
Right.
And I'm doing something, similar but different with Claude, for example. Claude is very good in fiction writing. Probably you or Steve may, from Kurt, I know that he has read that example short story I did. Steve, I'm quite sure you didn't because you had other things to do.
I've been a bit busy, but it is on my. I did put it on my Kindle though, so it'll happen. I just haven't.
Oh, really?
Haven't got around to it. Yeah.
So, Claude, for example, when you go fiction stories with Claude with a Lesterdent formula, so to have a little bit of structure in it, then Claude remembers your universe in quotation marks, so you can make reference back to older stories, and you can build up a whole series of books. For Kurt, for example, it would be, as an American, he could use Vela, and Vela is the superb ideal matchmaking tool for Claude fiction story. it takes less than 10 minutes to get a Leicester Den story, 6,000 words on it. It takes probably another 5 minutes to throw it on Vela, and then you are done. For those who are not US publishers and you want to do that, have a US LLC. They are allowed to do it.
Here's something I just want to share for a few moments with everyone. Steve Meller mentioned this earlier on a Society 11 Live, and I hadn't really looked at it, so I made a free account today. This is Kittle.
It's brilliant. You'll love it.
Kittle's free. I've only toyed around. You get a limited number of credits on a free account. Whoops.
I thought it was a bird flying around you. No, that was Skittles.
Yeah, but the free templates and things look quite fun, and the upgrade isn't bad. If you go to upgrade plan, it's similar price to Canva, just a bit more. Obviously, there are limitations on how many credits a day you've got and stuff, but if you're selective in what you use it for, it might be something you want to consider. I will say the logo thing was impressive because
there are two reasons why I would recommend this. The first one is the logo thing, which when it generates a logo, it doesn't just make a logo that you can't change. You can change all of the elements in the logo. That's incredible. If you're a designer, that's like the golden goose.
And it does it in one go. I mean, you can do it in Canva, but you have to make it with AI, do the text grab. And then matching the font is normally off. This is what it generates. You can edit any of that.
And it uses fonts it's already got access to in order to make it's very smart. The other reason for this over Canva, if you are doing self-publishing, hi Volker, if you're doing self-publishing, then there are times when you can use Canva's assets and get a copyright strike because you've used those assets, because not everything in Canva is 100% free. Some of it's using other assets from other places, and you don't know when that's going to happen. And with Kittle, everything that it uses is something that you can use commercially. That's the other sort of major reason why you might want to consider this.
Okay, so I definitely see not only a publisher thing, I also see
you got a premium.
all that everything that is graphics related sold as PLR or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And if you do only want to keep a free one, I mean, you just get that much and then just take that out into something else. You know, it's not hard. You just drop it.
Well, the great thing with this is that you do know what fonts it's used. So if you wanted to, really, you could download all of that and you could remake it yourself in, let's say, Affinity Designer, which is free for 6 months at the moment.
There you go. Yeah, that's another thing that we did mention earlier.
Yeah.
So, Dominus, we see you in the green room, but you've got to have your camera and mic connected to come on to the thing, and it's showing you as not having devices. So, if you can sort that out, you can come and join us. If not, continue watching us on the YouTube. We'll keep an eye out for your comments in chat. So yeah, I just wanted to share that because I thought that was something you mentioned earlier. And yeah, the other thing you mentioned for people is, of course, Affinity for people that want to go that far. And if you're not sure, go try it for 6 months.
Yeah, I was thinking earlier, you could take what Mark Hess has done in his last product. And use there's a couple of tools, maybe not the ones that we've been talking about, that I've been using recently, which is just incredible. But I'm not going to share here just in case I want to make it into a product. But you could do that, and then you import it into Designer to make sure it's all broken up properly. Fairly simple to do. You don't need a lot of tech skills to be able to do it. And you can have a logo design business that you can suddenly sell on Fiverr. And these things will be every bit as good as the people who've been making logos for years, because the logos that you can create in, Midjourney or in OpenAI or whatever are brilliant. They're really brilliant. So if you can take a
Yeah.
logo and vectorize it, you've got something that is absolutely, it's worth its weight in not necessarily gold,
Etsy.
definitely silver.
Selling it
Yep.
in Etsy because people are always looking for logos that are vectorized for embroidery, multi-level printing. Yep.
There was something, a friend of mine, a photographer friend of mine, says that they're making money on Etsy by selling repeating patterns because people want it. They
Yes.
want to make their own wrapping paper and stuff like that, and just the patterns themselves are going. They're also doing backdrops for photographers, so virtual backdrops that you can download, use, because the important thing is the right to use it. You can go and get a backdrop from anywhere. You can
Correct.
search Google to get a backdrop, but the right to be able to use something commercially for something that you're doing, that's really important. And that, that's your value there. If you can make something graphical to sell, even if it's just on AI.
AI. Oh, AI, it's off to work I go.
Yes. Kurt, we're going to
Yes.
answer the question everyone wants answered.
Has George Wigan given David Kirby his money back yet?
No.
No, he hasn't. And that was
Has George Wigan given David Kirby his money back yet?
Still no.
There we go. Still no. Still no.
Still
The
no.
only, the only feature we've kept up every show. So there we go.
That's
And
true.
there's Ellie.
What's going on, Ellie?
Oh, Ellie.
Hey, Ellie.
Ellie is waiting. Ellie has to keep the noise down because he has people sleeping and he doesn't want to wake the people up. He's got locked in his basement.
That's it.
And so
I don't blame him.
I like the way he just smiles and nods at. Oh dear. So, Mr. Stephen has a launch coming up, and I know
have a
we
launch.
talked
3
about it
days.
on Society 11 Live, but I want to talk about it on here as well.
Awesome.
On Mondays, you have a launch called Copy Catalyzer, and I'm
do.
glad you put it in the thing, Rhett, because throughout this whole run up to this thing, I've been dreadful with the name. I've called it Copy Catalyst,
Yeah, I keep
Catalyzer
doing that.
Copy. Something else as well, and it became a bit of a running gag in the end. That every
It's
time
just a copycat. Just a copycat.
I
It
keep
is copy
writing. I keep writing Copy Catalyst as well because it's an easier word to write.
It is, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, can't use that one. So it's
So
unfortunately. But yeah,
this product is for all you people who either write copy down or have a need to have copy written, and you're probably outsourcing it.
It's basically anybody who is selling online who isn't doing like drop shipping and stuff. If you need a page, if you need copy written for a sales page, this will do it for you. You don't have to.
That's the emphasis.
You just answer a few questions, very simple questions about your product, and it will do everything else for you. That's it. I've also got there's a funnel on the back end of this as well. There's an email system, and I mentioned this earlier, which the email system will let you do 6 promotional emails for an affiliate product, or for your own product if you really want. It will let you do an induction sequence so that people who are coming onto your list for the first time, they get the best introduction to your list. It'll do cart abandonment, which we don't talk about, but we should do.
Yes. And if we'd had time earlier, I would have picked you up on this more. And also just mention to people, this is a feature Gumroad have recently added. You could now do cart abandonment emails. And all they do is go, write your emails here. This thing is going to help you write those emails.
When you get beyond internet marketing, when you get outside the sort of JVZoo and Warrior Plus infrastructure, cart abandonment is on a lot of platforms because it's so useful. So, you might be just putting your first products together right now and go, well, actually, I don't need that this time. But at some point you will, and by the time you need it, you can write it or get AI.
The one thing that I find
8% is the amount of increase in sales from people who abandon. It can recover 8% of those that leave.
It's a big chunk of money. It really is.
It is, and you're right. It doesn't get talked about enough. And the other thing is, think about it. Companies you've used yourself, where you put stuff in the cart. You know the companies that are good at doing this and who isn't. You get that email. It comes in. Now, I never have gone, oh, fuck off, and hit unsubscribe from one of them. I've gone, oh, yeah. I've either gone, I'm glad they reminded me, or, oh, it doesn't matter. I bought it somewhere else now. Delete.
Sure.
Never have I gone, it's an email that I don't think it ever gets taken the wrong way. So it's a perfect thing.
Here's the thing as well. There are 2 times when having an email go into an inbox is going to be read more often than just a normal email on an email newsletter. When you have tried to buy something or gone through that process of clicking to check out to buy something, because you've got to remember, you've sold people on the sales page. By the time they click that button, unless they're tire kickers, and there's a certain percentage that will be, by the time they click that button, in their head, they've thought, I'm going to buy this. The fact that they haven't, they might have been put off by price, they might have been put off by something else, but there is an interest in there which is far, far greater than anything else. So the abandonment sequence that I've got in here not only starts off by saying, hey, look, we noticed you didn't buy. Maybe there was a problem at this end. Maybe, it's not your fault. And that's really important to emphasize that we are all the way through. We're not blaming the customer, because that is
we just noticed you left something in your cart. And
we noticed, exactly. And you might want to go back and do it. And then it will tell you the benefits of doing it. It will reiterate the benefits of the product and what it's doing. And finally, my favorite bit is it will then downsell you on the last email. Because if you get through a sequence and they're still not buying, that last email gives you an opportunity to say, okay, maybe you didn't want this, but maybe this is better for you instead.
Yeah, especially if you've got a light version or something like that. Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm pretty pleased with that, and hoping to use it myself when I get to a point where I'm not launching on Warrior, which, that's the only problem with those things. So not only you've got that, you've got a newsletter thing, which is, I've said before, the newsletter bit of it is fairly basic because you don't need a lot for a newsletter. It's fairly simple to get ChatGPT to write a newsletter article for you. It's fairly simple to get ChatGPT to come up with a list of things you can talk about over a month. So couple of prompts for that, nothing. But the other sequences, the induction, the promotion, and the cart abandonment, they are worth their weight in gold. And like I said, I use them myself. I've actually used them during this launch. I've used the sales page thing during this launch to help me write the sales pages. So it's stuff that I am doing myself as well. It's not something that I'm just saying, oh yeah, do this, and I've never touched it. The final one is VSLs. At some point we forgot the reason why we make VSLs in the first place, and it's for people who respond to video better than they respond to the written word. There are a lot of them out there. So there's 3 ways that people will learn, and one is a visual way, one is auditorily, and the other one is from reading. And everybody's slightly different, and they'll have a mix of all of these things, but one of them will be more prevalent. And so if you have a sales page, it could be the best copy in the world, but somebody who wants to interact with that audibly, they could benefit from having a video on there and listening to the video. Somebody who wants to interact with it visually, you might have some nice pictures on there, but actually the video could sell a little bit more. So the last upsell is called Visionary VSLs, and it shows you how to write the traditional script for a VSL. Now, that traditional script for a VSL has also been used on high-ticket items, on webinars, on, you name it. If anybody's had a video up there and they're trying to sell something, they will be using this system or a very similar system to this. It's the same system that has been around for donkey's years that, that Perry Belcher talked about 10 years ago or whatever, however long ago it is. But you don't have to write any of it. You just put the right information into ChatGPT, the right information is very simple stuff, and it will generate it all for you.
Nice.
Very, 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 very nice.
You know how you were talking about people are visual readers, they read or they hear it,
Yeah.
or they watch it on the screen.
Yeah.
Is that the reason why you think a lot of people who are doing webinars are doing like 2 or 3 sentences on each page and they're basically reading it off? In webinars.
Yes and no. There is a thing that, if you listen to Andy talk about sales pages, when you guys have critiqued sales pages, one of the things he says is highlight certain bits because people will just read the certain bits. When you're doing a VSL, in terms of sort of the video editing, the visual bit of it, the bits that are on screen are the bits that if you were reading it as copy, that you want to highlight, that you want to sort of bring up and go, all right, remember this bit, remember that bit. There are a few things that I don't think I've covered all of it, but there are a few things that you shouldn't do when you're doing that. Using the word "but," for example, on a VSL kills conversions because for some reason
everything that you said before it means nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So if you can stay clear away from that, you can still use and however and other things like that. But because try and stay away from but, which is a rule I've lived by for many years. I think right. I think the things that come up on screen, I do this when I'm editing videos. I do a thing that YouTubers do, which is to try and make sure that there is nothing on screen for more than about 5 seconds. Because that's the way that you kind of keep people going, oh, okay, what's happening now, and keep that watch time up. And especially with something like a VSL, you want that watch time to be as long as possible because you want to get to the bit where you're going, here's my offer, go and buy it now. So you've got to keep people engaged in that moment, and that's actually very difficult to do. There are
it's the billboard moments.
It's the billboard moments. Yeah.
In America, when we're driving down the road, we have billboards. The average length of time that someone can actually read what's on a billboard, 7 seconds.
Yeah.
That's the max, 7 seconds. So you have 7 seconds worth of attention on a billboard.
Yeah.
You better say something good.
Yeah. So basically,
but imagine if you got 7 seconds per slide.
Yeah. But that's the same on the internet as well. When I was first starting off in web design, they said, well, you've got to capture your visitor's attention in 10 seconds. Now they're saying it's like 3 seconds. And if you don't get it, then it's done. And if you listen to the sort of the YouTube gurus, they would say you've got to get that inside 3 seconds as well. Hell of a lot easier to do it on video because, you can have sound effects and music and nice visuals that pop up and people go, oh, okay, what's this? I want to watch this. Whereas doing it in sales, doing it in copy is a lot harder. Not impossible, but it's a lot harder.
Well, I'll
tell you someone who's
going
good at it.
I'm going to use save lists and all that for list building, and it's working quite well. But 5 words is the maximum you can put in the headline.
Yeah.
Because you have anyway a maximum of 10 seconds until it vanishes and another ad or another thing is popping up. But 5 words and no subheadline, no pre-headline, tell what it is, very easy, and try to get the attention.
It's a good thing to do if you want to get better at writing copy yourself. A good thing to do is to write something and then say, okay, how short can I make this? How fewer words, in what space of time can I get the same feeling? And copy is all about feeling at the end of the day.
Do you know what I'm missing?
Same feeling in a shorter period of time.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm missing, Steve, on most copy pages? A Johnson box.
I
want to have a Johnson box. I don't want to read all the other shit. Give me a Johnson box.
Oh, wait, right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a large place to put your penis. Then that's not.
No. That's something else.
Glory hole.
Yeah,
Glory
it's
hole.
not.
I
It's
think-
not.
I think
It's
I
not
met her
Magic.
once.
It's not Magic Johnson who wasted the world's best porn name on a basketball career.
I can hear
Absolutely.
Volker asking someone on an airplane, Timmy, little boy about 12 years old, you ever watch gladiators fight? Yeah, I can just see Volker doing it.
Dear. That's one thing.
good.
And if
looking
you don't know
forward
the
to.
movie Airplane, that's
One
an
thing I'm looking
amazing
forward
movie,
to
Airplane.
is having just a little bit more time to be able to watch some films and things because I've been just spark out for the last couple of weeks. So yeah, Airplane is something I need to revisit.
Yeah, Kurt, I placed a link in the private chat. If you can make it public, because I have no idea how. I'm not connected with the
You gotta
other
be on
chat,
YouTube.
and that's I'm not. I'm not a visual person.
Oh my!
And that's a present for today's marketing role. It's a very nice before after bridge prompt for ChatGPT that makes it quite easy to get scenarios or even something to have your paste on your copy paste on. For those who don't know what the before and after bridge framework is you get the pain point first, then you get the state where the potential customer should be, and then you have the bridge, what you have to do to make him feel that way or make him go that way. And that's a simple prompt that is you put in a niche and it throws you out 10 before after bridge scenarios, and just for throwing in ideas if you want to launch something or do something, whatever you want. Use it as you like.
Or not.
Or not. Most won't do anything, so this is for the few who would take to use.
The proud. Anyway. Anyway.
Can I test?
Oh,
Why this is? Okay. I love it when a company emails you and goes, "Oh, we noticed you looked at our thing a while ago, and we've now really improved it. Would you like to take another look?" So I went, "Yeah, sure. Let's take another look." So they go, "Great, log in here and have a look and try it out." And when you get the bit where you actually get to see the output, it just tells you got to pay to even test it. Well,
Yeah, that's not what you want.
how are you proving anything to me? So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, lazy AI, get lazy AI. It's still a no from me because they want me to, and it's they don't muck around. It's like, give us $40 a month, and you're like, well, if you do what you say you can do, I would, but you haven't proved it. I can't even run it in a test environment first.
This is a problem I'm running into with Shopify at the moment. Is that all themes are pretty much the same, and they want you to then modify it to look the way that you want. But then, if you wanted to get something like a page builder, which are there's drag and drop page builders out there, they need you to pay upwards of $20 a month to be able to do that. And I can't. I mean, it's not my site; it's my client's site, so I can't sign up to something like that. Going, yeah, you're going to need to pay this now on top of Shopify. The amount that they rinse you for money using Shopify is just incredible. It really is.
Yeah.
Talking about idiotic system, product Dino. If you have a second text block in it and you want to delete the one because you don't like it, it deletes the first. So very nice, especially when you have the text in there that you just wrote it down and you haven't saved it somehow.
I didn't.
Loved it.
Brilliant. So the best way of using Product Dino is to connect it to an external website.
Yeah, like Snapify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, your own website, your own WordPress site. You can hide bits from it. I did it with the launch on Podcast Advantage. It worked brilliant. It just absolutely perfect.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Snapify, we're getting ready to add CSS block and JavaScript block to the head.
Oh,
so
nice.
you can do your own CSS.
That'd
so
be
yes,
good.
I know that you love CSS.
Use it a lot, yeah. Yes. Although, yeah.
I know that you made your own CSS backgrounds for Product Dino.
Oh, for Product Dino, yeah. I redid that. I mean, that's the biggest problem that I've got with Product Dino at the moment, is that I put a lot of work into it. I can't use it anymore. That's it. But yeah, I did a whole sort of layout in Product Dino, which sort of fudged the CSS so it looked the way that I wanted it to. But I haven't bothered doing that with Learn because it just works. Although Learn isn't the best platform in the world either. It's just it is what it is. I would like to find something which is solid and a good way of delivering products, though, which isn't stupidly expensive. At the moment, it still feels like running your own website is the best way of doing it.
Yeah, I quite often keep an eye out and I look into it. The problem, it seems to me, with a lot of membership systems is they get, if it's a PHP thing you install yourself, eventually they stop supporting it.
Yeah.
If it's a SaaS-based system, they normally get really greedy really quickly.
Yeah.
It's like there's silly limitations, so you get heavily penalized for your success. I was looking at one the other day, and even on that top level of paid thing, the minute you go over $1 million in turnover.
Yes, you talked about this last week.
They got paid. You got
the one that was on AppSumo.
Yeah, and it's very vague what happens, but they're going to start asking for percentages, and you're like, you've got no control then. So you can only grow your business to a certain size, and then you're at their you're beholden to them. And I just think it's a shame. I think things like if Product Dino did everything it was meant to do well,
it'd be brilliant. I mean, the back end of it, the bits that work are solid.
Bits that work are superb. The bits that are irritating as fuck, and it doesn't matter. If you report them to their support, you get the same bullshit back. Can you give us your login? Well, why? It's a thing that happens no matter who's login. But okay, there you go. There it is not working. You never get a result. Oh, I'll pass it to developers. And then they roll out another version months later. They haven't fixed what you wanted, and they've also broken a load of other shit.
Yeah. Especially since they put the new stuff in, which is 5-6 years old, something like that. But the new builder thing that they made a big deal about and doesn't work properly.
Yeah, it's that ugly, that thing.
Just to give you an idea about why this is important for marketers, a lot of people who are not in IM will go to someone like Kartra in order to do their marketing. Kartra will charge you if you go monthly, so it's a little bit cheaper if you can afford a yearly thing. Kartra will charge you $119 a month for a starter account, which is crazy considering that when I started doing this, I wasn't earning $119 a month.
Right.
And that's a big jump for you've got a 30-day free trial, but that is a massive jump for people. So these things are still important, I think.
They are. I mean, I understand not wanting to make your basic level too cheap because you are going to get a lot of support from newbies.
Sure.
But I think you need to make that entry level something. If you're doing anything that is for people to grow a business with, so a shopping cart system, a delivery system, then you need a way of getting people in the door that's a good product they can build to a good level. And then there is a clear upgrade path that they can go, wow, if I ever get there, I wouldn't mind paying you. You know, there's certain things I subscribe to now, and I think if I go up another tier, I'm going to have to pay you X $100 more. And then I'm thinking, but isn't that a nice problem to have? It means I've got X more people using it. I've had this much more success.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that. What I don't like is when they get really vague on what they say there's a limit, but they're really vague on what happens if you go over it.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind if they said something like, okay, well, you're going to have to pay us 20% of whatever
if they told you
charge.
up front, yeah.
But
even
but
if
you're not, you know, you don't pay anything else, but you pay 20%. So you know, the more that you earn, the more that they get in fees, which would work because the more they would have to support the amount of customers that you put into their system. Yeah. So it kind of works.
Why don't you split the system from the support and say, oh, look, if you use a system, that's X dollars. And for every support, you need a credit. And you have to buy the credit. So basically, I'm not a fan of Kartra. I'm definitely not a fan of ClickFunnels, which is, I think, even more at the moment. Do they still have the $99 entry level, or is it the $197 one?
School does. School's $99 for one community.
Really? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And people are making money on that. That's the thing that really...
Yeah. I mean,
No. That's not a guaranteed thing. People have schools on there, whether they're making money or not.
Right.
It's a total different thing.
I
know Alessandro's got one.
No one is going to keep paying $99 a month if they've not got
if they're not making money,
and that's just stupid. I mean, okay, no, actually, I'll rephrase
Some
that.
people will.
But anyone with an ounce of business acumen about them isn't going to. And the thing, I mean, it's like you and I know, because we've both built, Kurt and I both built memberships, both jointly and separately. That in reality, that isn't a great deal of money. You know, even if you're running a membership at $20 a month, you've got to have more than 5 paying members to break even. So, and you know, if you can't attract 20 members out the gate to your new membership, it wasn't worth putting together in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's too outrageous, because then you can grow. But do they put any limits on how big you can grow that one community?
Unlimited members and unlimited courses within inside of your school.
So
that's not bad. When you get through to something like that, I could actually know that's pretty good. That's pretty good. The problem with things like school,
they do charge 2.9% transaction fee. But that's standard. That's actually they're not making any money on that.
The problem with things like school, I think, is it attracts people, much like Samcart does. It attracts people who want to be in business, who don't know how to be in business, and so therefore they are paying for stuff that they aren't really benefiting from. And there's a whole model that's doing that right now.
And he's got a huge name.
Yeah,
obviously. There comes a point if you're building on, say, Gumroad, which I mean I prefer because it handles my tax, VAT, and all that stuff now. But if you're doing it on that, 10% is a chunk. And when you're making bigger money on it, you see these thousands of dollars going to them. But you know what? The system works. Their support team are amazing. If you specify your refund policy, they handle all that for you. So, like, really, you've only got the support of the actual product to deal with. If they got problems accessing it, Gumroad answer it. If you got problems, and so you get all that as well. The advantage of obviously something like school is you're going to save that big 10% chunk. So if you've got an established thing and you've got good product ideas already, then going there, you know where you're at, $99 a month and 2.9%, which if you've got a lot of members is a big saving compared to, say, Gumroad or something else. So it's always horses for courses, isn't it? And finding the right thing for the right job at the time.
Well, it depends. With Digistore 24, for example, that's $1 or €1 and 7.9%. So even if you're going with the 10%, with our tax system, that 10%, and it doesn't matter on which amount, is still cheaper than paying an accountant for all
for the VAT.
Not only for the VAT, but for all transaction and all that. here from whatever it is, ClickBank, Gumroad, Digistore 24, you are getting up to 4 payments a month. Up to 4 payments I can handle myself in the auditing software and the bookkeeping software. If I have to put in 5,000, 6,000, 10,000, several bookings, and remember the old Warrior Plus style was 3 bookings per sale.
Used to take me hours exporting all my PayPal to CSV, putting it into Excel, sorting it, doing all this other shit I had to do. I mean, I did have macros for some of it and spreadsheets for some of it. Even with all that, just to get my final figures was an absolute epic nightmare. Now, I'm like, yeah, if it's coming from Gumroad, that's effectively the profit from everything, from the sale of the thing. Then I've got some other expenditure. And in this country, if you are a sole trader, up to quite a high limit, you can operate as a cash trader. Doesn't mean you're actually dealing in cash. It means you only have to do a simple bookkeeping, which is what I spent on actual expenses, what I spent on things that are assets to the business that are going to have an appreciation or depreciation, what I've had coming in, the difference, the end. It's like it really is that simple. So because I'm now doing most of my stuff through Gumroad and all of that, it does make it an awful lot easier.
The great thing about the cash trader stuff as well is that by the time you're earning over the limit, you can afford to pay an accountant to do that stuff for you. You know, it's not much, but it's enough.
But let's face it, the accountant is cheaper when he has to do 4 payments a month from Gumroad because they pay on every Friday, or they should pay on every Friday because they never paid me, neither as an affiliate nor as a vendor. It's 4 payments. If your accountant has to do let's say same 5,000 bookings, it will be quite expensive too. And I will do quite a bit. If you have a good accountant, it will be more expensive than going with than paying Gumroad at 10%, or Digistore the dollar and 7.9, or ClickBank the 9.1%, because you are effectively having only one customer. I don't know exactly how Gumroad is doing it, but with Digistore is your only client is Digistore. They're the reseller. They care about everything.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
I mean, that's the same thing with ClickBank. I mean, it doesn't matter what fees you're paying. There's going to be slightly higher fees. Is probably slightly less work somewhere else, and that's really how it's best to look it up. This is interesting. Government is saying in Spain it's a minefield. Having to be autonomous, self-employed, comes at a cost of at least $360 a month before you even pay your accountant or have any overheads. Wow! So you have to pay that to like the government just because you're self-employed.
That's insane.
That is mental. Glad we don't have that here. I mean, in this country, you can start a business, run at a loss, and the government will
give you money for it. Yeah, not a lot.
Can I do that?
But just
you can do it in America too. I know because I did. Well, no, what was funny? I came out to the States. I mean, this was obviously back in 1999, 2000, so it's a long time ago, and I'm sure some stuff's changed, but I came in, I couldn't get a full work permit, but I could be self-employed on my immigrant status. So I was like, well, I'll have to be self-employed then. So I set up this business, and at the end of the year, I took everything to the accountants go over there because I thought I know nothing about US tax. So I just took everything in and went, right, here it is. And they started going for all this shit I qualified for. Well, because you're not in the state of North Carolina and you're in this particular part in town, you get a rural development grant because you started a business this year. And all these things are write-offs against your tax. I went in there expecting to have to pay the US government about $12,000 at least. I walked away and got a check back for $4,000. I'd made a profit from day one. It was... And then, I think only by my 3rd year in the States was I actually paying into the system. They weren't giving me money back. I'd made a profit the entire fucking time and lived off it. So the US system is very generous, or was back then. Don't know what it's still like now. Their only care was as long as you weren't trying to take anything out the system. And I'm like, well, aren't I getting money out of your system by getting these grants? Why? I sat there and I go, but I'm not a citizen. I'm a resident. And they go, yeah, no. Here it is. I'm like, all right, do your thing. Fine. Best $100 and something I ever spent. Because it was
the only cost that we've got is our national insurance class C or something. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, it used to be 3, 4. I'd fucking lose track of all that.
It's a couple of quid a week, but obviously adds up over a year. But other than that, you don't need a penny to start a business, other than what you want to spend on the
useless things. Shiny object.
You make a website, you'll probably either want somewhere that does websites, or you want to have your own hosting or something like that. But other than that, you don't need anything.
Yeah. So
you know what though? I bet if you're in Spain and you start a business, you take it a fuck sight more seriously, because from day 0, that's skin in the game.
What I don't get is, I know nobody really who is self-employed in Spain, because everybody has his own SL, so limited company. Yes, it takes. Last time it takes €3,000 to set it up, but
I suppose the thing, if you're going to incur costs anyway, the way that you think about incurring those costs is going to be different from if I was to set up a limited company in the UK, that would cost me money that I don't have to spend if I'm a sole trader.
Yeah. And we in the European Union, you can have a Romanian limited company, for example, that is quite cheap, work in whatever other part of Europe you are, and you're paying 5% taxes on your turnover as a flat tax, up to €1 million.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Well, while there's a brief pause there, I think it's time to attempt to flog the dead horse that is.
The stakes are so high now. Who wants a potato? It's time to find out now. Are you ready to show?
Yes, indeed, it is that time to find out who would like a potato. Kurt, would you like a potato?
I'm Irish, so yes.
All right. Steve Mello, would you like a potato?
I'm diabetic, so no.
Okay. Volker, would you like a potato?
Only if it's starchy one.
Okay. And Ellie, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Would you like a potato? There we go. That was who would like a potato. It's not, I think it still needs work, but you know,
if it's Hugh Hughes, no, I don't want it.
Oh dear me. There we go. So, I wonder who else will be popping on tonight. Do you know if Mr. Hess is jumping in tonight? I know Steve B might be here a bit later on, but
I have reached out on Skype and no response at this point in time. He may be.
That's been very interesting over the last few weeks. I think it's kind of changed the way I'm thinking about doing the next product that I do. I'm not going to wait like I normally do, and sort of run the money down.
Yeah, you finally got it that you don't have to overcomplicate and perfectionize it.
Well, what Mark's been talking about over the last few weeks, it's something like I've had in my head for a little while, but in a different sense. So when I was a couple of years ago now, I was a member of a thing for YouTubers that help teach people how to do YouTube. And I won't tell you which one it was because I didn't think it was very good. So I don't want to give them any, but what they did was a $500 front end, and that was it. And you got everything that you would get with the course. But the next year, you could resubscribe for $300. I thought that's quite an interesting idea. But how would you do that and then keep it interesting for me, who does? I'm doing this, but I don't really like doing sort of lives on my own and these things. So how could I do that, which is fits with me, but still gives content? And I thought, well, the thing is, Tom wants a spud, right? The thing is, what you're doing essentially is you're making your own YouTube channel. And it suddenly clicked if you sold like a high ticket item and you needed back end on it, you needed more stuff to come with it, you needed some sort of live training, some sort of extra value like that. If you started making YouTube videos essentially in your niche and just providing it to that audience, there's your value. And I can do that already. I know how to do that already.
Yes.
The dilemma I see with your courses, all you brought to market, is that you have $497 courses from the quality and the content. You are selling them way under price, but you don't have the audience who would pay $497. Because that audience you won't find on Warrior Plus. No way.
No, you won't. In fact,
okay, I'm going to surprise you now then if you think that. You won't sell it on Warrior Plus at that price point. But take the last little mini launch, let's call it what it was, that I just did, that was modeled on the Mark Hess mod with a couple of my own tweaks in it. The back-end sales I have made over on Gumroad have been for $97, $297, and $497 from people that spent $10 with me on Warrior Plus. It's where I was and everything else.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Build the trust of your audience up to that value based on what you deliver for $10.
Yeah,
and actually,
that's not
Volker,
the way
I
Steve
think
was doing it. Yeah,
I think you're wrong. I think the courses that I've been putting out, and one of my bonuses for this next launch is Podcast Advantage, and I looked at it again the other day for the first time since the launch. I looked at it again to make sure it was all working and everything, and it reminded me there's 13 hours worth of video in that. That's not a $500 launch. That's a $2,000 launch.
No.
And I didn't know that back then because I hadn't experienced what a $2,000 launch was. Yeah. Well, now I've worked with a few people who've done $2,000 launches, and they've gone, this is the thing we're using. And okay, I've only done graphics and things for them, but just to get inside that for a minute and see what they're providing and to see what they give to people, it changes the way you think about things. So now,
I know because your courses have they have an excellence in every aspect.
Thank you.
For not only they have the quality of the content, they also have the quality of execution.
And
I could probably
do
the quality of content in the areas I have an expertise on, but I definitely don't have the abilities to do that in your quality of execution. Starting with the fact that I hate videos, I don't like to consume videos, and the only thing I like in videos is how to speed them up, or jump to the content I'm interested in.
So you don't have to watch. I mean, that's of course.
Do you know? You know all those you see on YouTube all the time, how to make $1 billion in 8 minutes and how to start a business doing this, that, and the other. And you see them all coming up on the daily thing, and you know they're largely going to be shit. I haven't watched any of them for ages, but ChatGPT has studied them for me.
Yes.
What the URLs in and just look through these, summarize what the actual method is in 2 or 3 sentences, And then based on a few factors that I give it, score them out of 10. And then I can just drop in this list of things, and you have to hit continue a few times, and and then at the end you go, well, they were all shit, or that one might be worth a watch. And then the ones that are worth a watch, if it's a good idea and I like it, I then get ChatGPT to write out like a case study explanation of how it was done. And now I've got something to start forming in now. I always want to see what I can add to an idea. I'm not just taking an idea off YouTube and going, here you go, it's $20, please. I look at what else I can incorporate and can I make that into something? And then
that's it, isn't it? It's the way that you add value to it, however that is. That's the thing that people are going to buy. Because this is what I was. Yes, you're right. ChatGPT 4.0.
I'll give you a big tip on ChatGPT 4.0 in a minute. That if you're not doing it, it'll blow your mind.
That's what they call opening a loop, by the way. So again, what I was thinking is there's a ton of YouTube content out there. Some of it is stuff that I have hunted out because I needed to do something and it taught me how to do it. That's the sort of thing that would be perfect for let's call it a Mark Hess style product. Why not do that? And you could then build that into what is essentially, you remember what Digital Marketer did when they had these little tiny products, 10 quid a time. I think they were 10 to 15 bucks a time, actually. And you buy into them, but that was one part of their whole system. So I thought, well, that's similar to what I was thinking about with that whole thing. But that's how Mark's got me to think differently is that now I'm thinking, those individual things on their own are worth people paying for them to get them into the system. Into the
what I got,
it's just flipping it.
What I got a big confirmation from what Mark said is those sub $10 products have to be instantly actionable.
Yes.
Then it is going to be a success.
It's one thing, one very simple thing.
Yes.
Solve that problem. But and again, it's if you study copy for any length of time, that is what you do. You have somebody who doesn't have a solution to a problem, you solve their problem, and that's how you make sales. So
the same with the prompt I shared before is you enter a niche. It's basically throwing up you 10 scenarios with a before and after bridge, where you can build a report on, a freebie on, whatever. And just let the ChatGPT or Claude to do the rest. Because now you have the structure, and you can take one of those 10, throw it into ChatGPT, write me a short report about it. Or write me a basic of a sales page from it.
And as Tom said, YouTube, brilliant place to find product ideas. And you want to think, well, does that mean I'm going to run out? There are 1 billion hours of YouTube video uploaded every single day.
Yeah.
1 billion hours. And a good chunk of it is in niches that will fit into IM as well.
There's also an awful lot of very, very good stuff that goes on YouTube and gets 7 views. And sometimes doing searches and using the filters will find you absolute gems that you can go, holy shit. And then you look on the rest of YouTube and no one else really is talking about that method.
Yeah.
That's when you're onto something. Because you can go, wow. Because if you don't have to be the inventor, you just have to be the first to market, the first to shout about it.
Interestingly, what Mark was saying last week about one of his products was he hasn't done it. He knows somebody he's seen that somebody has done it, and his thing was he's reporting back that is the way that it was done, and that's the product. I actually watched YouTube
products are.
Yeah. I actually watched a YouTube video today, exactly the same format about making Kindle coloring books, mid-content coloring books, not the low-content ones, which were essentially phrases with swearing in them. And apparently it's a fairly newish niche. A lot of people are buying these books, which are colouring books that have got phrases that are swearing in. And they were saying, well, this is why you do it, and this is how to do it.
Go for
And I
example.
thought that's a product. That
Yeah.
is a product right there.
Go for example with Shakespearean insults. Have some colouring things back in that time. You have a product.
Yeah.
Okay, so very quickly,
people like these.
I want to give this Chat GPT thing. Otherwise, I'll forget, and we'll go off live, and everyone will be going, "What was it?
What was it?"
So, it's very simple, this. But if you haven't yet put Chat GPT on a mobile device,
If Kurt could stop typing as long as Andy telling, because I don't understand a single word, because Kurt's typing is louder than you're talking, Andy.
there you go. So, if you got ChatGPT on your phone, if you haven't, get it on your phone. You can get it for Android. You get the official ChatGPT thing and log into it. You will want a set of headphones that have got a mic built in. You can Apple AirPods are obviously ideal. I don't like AirPods; they don't fit in my ears properly. I didn't even get with a Pro one. Sent them back.
It works
these
with Android too.
These amazing that were like 20 quid on Amazon, and they're fantastic because they're over the ear and in air, and they're noise cancelling. So when I'm doing odd jobs,
could you send me a link to those? Because I have problems with
yes,
stuff in ears.
I will send you the exact link, and you don't have to have them in girly pink or purple either. They do them in man colours.
Oh well, they might fit the t-shirt.
So you know, so yeah, I'll look those up for you. So, but the thing is, this you can put the app in the phone now. If you've got the latest version, you can put it into conversation mode. So you don't have to push a button. You don't have to whatever. You just on your headphones. All those times of the day you think about you're not doing very much. When you're washing up, the hands are in the sink and you can't. You can have your headphones in and I can be talking to ChatGPT instead of just listening to the radio or something. And I'm brainstorming. I went out for a walk yesterday. Now, I'm going to use more mobile data doing this, but I don't mind. I went for a walk yesterday. And as long as I had data, and I did, I could continue having a conversation. If anyone saw me, they assumed I was talking to someone on the phone. Because you're not constantly going, okay, then GPT. You know, you're just talking to it like a normal person. And some of the thoughts I had and threw at it, and then it was about some of that experience was just so good. And then at the end, you can say, so now here's the really surprising bit. You can then obviously say summarize and whatever else. This, when you use the phone app in that mode and everything, if you talk to it the next day, it can remember things that the key things. So you can say, remember we were talking about this idea yesterday, and it will go, oh, the one about doing a YouTube channel about this. And you go, yeah, that's the one. And it just picks up. And I'm just been blown away by it. I don't know how much data they're taking about me, but I don't care at this point. It is seriously impressive stuff. And
there is a certain point when you start using AI and you suddenly go, okay, I see such a benefit in this. I don't care what it knows about me. It can know absolutely everything about me. Although I have actually something to talk about this, which is kind of interesting and semi-connected about YouTube, but later on. It's
cool. So yeah, there you go. That is my GPT tip for anyone that hasn't yet tried it. It will.
It's a great idea.
It will absolutely change your brainstorming sessions. I do a lot of brainstorming up on my whiteboard, or I go to a coffee shop with my Remarkable tablet. And I don't mind in a coffee shop talking on. It just looks like you're on the phone, so no one gives a shit. So I can sit in the corner of a coffee shop. I can even, if my phone's getting on power, plug in. They don't mind. Sit there drinking a coffee, and I'm just having this chat with AI. I'm bouncing ideas around, and those conversations can be saved. I can retrieve them later, get them summarized. It's just changed the way I work. And it was like I saw somebody give. Oh yeah, I'm getting the link for the earpods now. Hang on. I saw somebody give this tip. This was on YouTube, I think. I'm pretty sure that's where I got it from. And I was like, that's interesting. I'll try it. And I swear, if you give it a good go, you spend an hour talking to the damn thing, you will go back to it time and time again. So I'm going to drop the link. I'm going to drop the UK link for this. I'm sure you can get, if you're in another country, you can.
It'll be your best friend before too long.
It'll be your only friend.
That's the ones I bought. I'll even show everybody
the movie Her.
watching.
Yes. Yeah.
Let me do. I don't know what's in my basket. Not like I've got anything in there. So, right, here we go. These are the earphones. The ones before I had another pair that I wasn't getting on with, and I thought because I started using this, I had to get a good set. And these went out with me on my walk yesterday, and I've been now look 20. I don't know why in green they're $89.99, but in any other color they're under 20 quid. And you've got nice carbon black, white, horrible blue, disgusting orange. But if you want to look like a rapper, then
you'll never lose them.
That $89.99 is the regular retail price. That's why.
Yeah, that's a funny thing because in Germany it's only the black ones which are 23 euros. The green and the purple ones are 100 euros.
Oh, there you go. And these are on the side. They've got the touch controls for your volume, and you can skip tracks, do all this weird shit. I haven't figured out all of what you can do with them yet. The impressive thing is they came 100% charged. I used them for hours. I'm still showing 98%.
Yeah. The description is 50-hour use time with one charging.
Yeah, it is absolutely bonkers. So I've been really impressed with them. I will be I don't normally leave Amazon reviews, but I'm going to give it a couple of weeks of using them, and then I'll go and leave a review. But so far, I've fallen in love with these things. Super convenient takeout.
I think I want the blue ones.
They're nice, aren't they? They look smart.
They're lovely. They look really smart. Yeah.
I don't have blue one. I only have purple, green, white, and black.
Oh, well, they're
But
purple,
you're
but
muted.
they're not pinky.
So you're holding up a thing, but you're muted. You're muted in StreamYard, I think, because your mic's crossed out.
These are mine. These are my earbuds.
Nice.
I bet yours cost a bit more than £19, though, Kurt.
$3,000.
Wow. Yeah. My dad had some hearing aids, and he paid that much for them. Mm-hmm. And it was about 2 years before he died. And once he was gone, we could not get rid of them at all. You would think that these units would be worth something to somebody. We had to throw them away. Nobody wanted them.
If you ever run into that situation again, this is what you should do. Go back to the hearing aid store, have them set it to default levels, and use them as earbuds.
Oh, right. We did go back to the store, but they said Steve, they couldn't do anything.
Should you resurrect the dead and have the situation?
Well, I've got a Chat GPT for it, but I've not tried it yet. So
yes, the resurrecting the dead GPT is a bit dodgy.
I have ordered.
It's hit and miss.
Earphones.
The problem is it hallucinates. I bought back Hitler the other day. That really didn't go well.
It was Hitzer. Missed it by one letter.
Yeah, luckily I just did Control Z really quickly, and it was all right.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Undo.
Or it should have been Control NZ for a Nazi.
It probably should, but I think it worked. I certainly haven't heard of any atrocities today. So.
Well, still time.
Still early.
It is still early. Oh, let's get back to marketing, for goodness sake.
All right, earbuds are on the way, so I'll
There you go. But
play
honestly,
with those
talking to ChatGPT, you'll come back next week and let me know. You will be.
Yeah, will do.
You'll go,
Will do.
oh damn you! I've had to up my data plan because when I go out and about, I just want to talk to it all the time.
Well, I've got unlimited data, and I
don't-
realised
there you
how
go.
little of it I use.
right.
I use under 4 gigabytes of it, but the plan that I've got just happens to have unlimited data with it. So
I think mine's got 8 gig. I've never
Right.
come close to using all of it.
no, I don't think you
except
do.
when I was on holiday,
Yeah.
and that I used my data all the time, and I didn't care. I watched videos, I played music,
yeah.
I did everything on it, listened to the radio on it,
Mhm.
and even then, I think I got near, but not anywhere near over my limit. And then
Of course,
they
now
actually
when
wrote
you go
to
on
me every month
holidays-
saying, "Do you want to downgrade? You only need half the data." But I go, no, because you know what? I never know when I'm going to travel. 'cause I
On the
go
odd
quite
occasion when you
impulsive.
need it, and you don't want to spend 24
Right.
hours waiting for them to reactivate an account or something.
Right. And I don't
That's-
want to dick around having to put my card in and get extra. I just
And
want to
I
know
only-
that I
I
can go
only pay
anywhere.
20 quid a month
and use it.
anyway.
I pay less
know,
than that. You know?
Well, I pay 20 quid and get unlimited data with it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
well,
I buy
I'm
my
fine with that.
handsets outright though, so I just pay for my data.
So
plan.
same here. Same
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
So my plan at the moment is £8 a month.
It's good. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
it's
that-
My mum's is similar to that as well. Same sort
it's
of. I
around
think
like
she's
here.
got 8 gig or something as well.
I'm paying €10. That's the limit I said to it I want to pay, and at the moment I'm at 25 gig for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
It
gonna
was
log
one
in.
of those special offers now for the Euro tournament.
Ah, yes, of course. Special offers for
I'm
you.
actually going to have a look and see because I've used data a lot the last few days as well. So I'm just going to go in and see. But I mean, bear in mind, my chats with GPT, I haven't done things like grab screenshots and say, look at that, and then had a conversation because that would obviously use more data when you're out and about.
Yeah, of course.
My conversation just been me talking, which is having to analyze, compress, and then. So I don't know that it's a lot of data.
Audio is not that much data, but
hell.
video is.
When did this
And
renew?
you can get an unlimited plan here for about 25. And at the moment, the special offers about €25, but you're limited for 20 or 25 Mbit, so you don't get the full bandwidth.
Right. Right.
It's
Oh, no,
it's unlimited
I'm currently-
data, but not the full speed.
I'm currently paying £10 a month.
Yeah.
But that gives me 20 gig of data, which is insane. You can watch videos, you can do bloody anything. You can watch in high definition, and you know.
Have they done that thing where they've gone, well, we don't want you to pay any less, so we'll give you more resources?
Yeah, I think maybe. And then you can. They're telling me I could downgrade because I've just looked. It's ridiculous. I've used. I would say I've been pretty active data-wise because I've been out and about a few times, more than normal. I've got 18 gig left. I've used 2 gig of data.
It's crazy.
So I think, mind you, a lot of that is probably I'm just going into stats to see when what was. Where's that? Change that. All right, see my usage. Okay. Data, nothing. Internet, nothing. Nothing, right? Your recommended plan. What? Oh, you can't. You've got 5. I've got 5 gig of EU. I don't know where you change your plan. Oh, to extend your free. No. All right, here's a summary of what you've used. So, the most data I ever used was just over 4 gig. My average
Wow.
data usage is about 1 gig. So I can't remember. Why do you actually change the plan? Oh, I see. Here we go. So I've not ever actually gone over what the plan down would be. So I could drop to £8 a month. But, you know, it's just that peace of mind. I just like knowing I've got more than I'm going to need. It's not going to run out.
Yeah.
And the one thing I've not had happen in a long time, which has happened once or twice, and that's why what the 4 gig will be. My main internet is 4G because BT couldn't give me fiber here. So I use a 4G connection with Vodafone, who give a far better data speed.
Yeah.
And I'm on an unlimited plan with them, which is £35 a month for unlimited data. It's no voice, no text. Oh, no, there is text, but it's absolutely unlimited data. And so I use that for my internet. Well, occasionally, very rarely, though, there's an issue and it went down, which is why I made sure my phone is with giffgaff, who use O2, which are different masts.
Different. Yeah.
So although it's slower, it's like rubbish speed. It's like 8 or 9, rather than getting 70. But I once had to do a live and stream using the data from the thing, and it worked. We did a couple of streams that way, and I just literally hotspotted my computer to the phone for the period of time I needed to until that came back on. So that's the other thing. I like having the extra data there to get me out of grinds in business.
I do need to have a look at our broadband again, because we're paying about 50, 60 quid a month for it, and it's too much, really. But
what speed are you getting for that? Is it good?
Oh, it's good. It's brilliant, but it's not even the top. Not even anywhere near the top of what Virgin do, because I'm on Virgin fiber optic. It's a very good speed. I stream with it in 1080p twice a week, although I didn't this week because we've had so many problems with connections this week, but it seems to have sorted itself out now. Having said that, so it's a really good quality broadband usually, and it means that I can upload things fast. If I'm uploading YouTube videos, which are 4K videos, that's quick enough for me to not have to worry too much about it, which is useful and good. But at the same time, that's a lot of money every month to just go on one thing.
Yeah, but you could outspeed Kurt with a 1 gigabit line.
Yeah, but I'd pay 3 times as much.
Minimum.
That's what I'm getting tonight. Now, there is a lot more fluctuation.
With you on stream as well.
Yes, with me on stream at the moment. That's what I'm getting. Now, this upload speed, typically, I get near a 19 as an average. I mean, sometimes it goes over 20 something, but it's normally about 18, 19. This can vary anywhere from 28 to 90.
0.5.
If it ever drops below about 30, I know there's a problem.
Wow.
I reset the router. The only thing that you find is you get a slightly shittier ping than you get on a lot of things. Most people's pings is 20 to 30, mine's 47. And the one thing this is no good for at all is online gaming. Because anything over this uses this particular Vodafone service, although it's unlimited data, uses NAT in order to do it. And the moment you pass through a NAT, game servers are shit. So you get like category D on Nintendo and others. So it's okay for downloading. It's okay for doing community creations and games. But if you want to play a game in real time, I can actually switch to this because giffgaff don't nat it. So this works really well. So for online gaming, I use the phone. And the astonishing thing is, I know everyone makes up this bullshit like, oh, I'm sorry, my internet's slow. My kids are all home playing games. Games use fuck all data. It's downloading.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And watching movies, those things are using a lot of data. Gameplay is sending tiny packets containing coordinates and other relevant information.
The important thing with gameplay is that you don't have dropout. If you have dropout,
Right.
you're screwed.
And that's why your ping is important in gaming.
Yes.
Speaking of dropping out, we've been on here for 90 minutes as of right now.
We have.
I'm actually going to drop out. You guys have a great night, and I will see you all next week.
We're going to end the stream, but
See
we'll
you
hang
next
out for a bit longer. And
Goodbye, drop out.
See ya. Bye, stream.
Later, non-spud eater.